Hello, my name is Aiden, and I'm from Air AI, and I'm here today to help teach you how to code or to create things with code. We've evolved from coding, and we now can use LLMs to code, use AI to code. So, why learn to code? Why learn to build? And that's a very important question because right now we are living in the future, and I'm pretty sure most of you are aware of that. Or most of you who have a computer or a phone know that very much. And so we are now able to partake. Everyone is able to partake and to create in this because of AI. So we can create things such as web apps, phone apps, software for your computer, applications that can help you with your business, and you can do it all for free, which is very important. And it can enable people who have limited resources and don't have access to big teams of people to now be their own team of people. So we're moving fast into the future, and we can get very overwhelmed by the complexity of things. But we need to remember that if we focus on the simple things, it becomes a lot easier. And we focus on one thing at a time. What are the building blocks? What are the foundations? So looking into code, looking at software, software is all code, which is all characters, which is all files and folders, and that all gets translated to machine code. And to remember all those characters and all of that for coding seems like an absolute mess and seems very hard to do. Um, but now we don't have to worry about that. Thanks to AI, we can focus on the simple things and use our creativity as it's meant to be used. So, that being said, simplicity, one stroke at a time. That's how I like to focus on things. So, our tools. What tools do I use? What tools should you use? So, the fundamental thing that I've learned through coding and through creating is that if you're on a Windows machine, you definitely want to have Linux on that Windows machine. So we got something called WSL, but I'll go into that and explain how to install it. It's very simple. But if you're on a Mac OS, don't worry. Unix is amazing. So you will still be able to create just about anything you want to create. So the IDE I use is VS Code. It's free, and it gives you access to GitHub Copilot. And GitHub Copilot is essential because that is what enables you to obviously code and translate your simple language into code language. And as you know, ChatGPT and most other LLMs companies, AI companies, are in high competition. So coding is only becoming easier and easier every day, and better as well. The AI is getting much better at it. So let's begin. So installing WSL on a Windows machine, very, very easy. We're just going to have to open our terminal. And to do that, we press our Windows key plus X, and then this will pop open. And all you need to do is click on Windows PowerShell, or it might be called something else depending on your version of Windows. But I'm running a Windows 10 machine, and that is what I have. Next. Now that you have your terminal open, all you need to do is put in this simple command, and it will install the latest version of WSL for your machine. Next, you're going to open up your Microsoft Store and you're going to search for an application called Ubuntu or Debian. And these are your new OSs that you're building in. Again, just a very good foundation since it will allow you to connect with most tools. And the last tool you're going to get is VS Code. So open up Google and then go to this website and download and install this application. Next, you're going to open your terminal up again and you're going to type it in WSL, and that is going to now activate your Windows subsystem for Linux. And now what you need to do is navigate to your root folder so we can keep organized, and we're going to make a new a project folder to add all our projects into. So that's mkdir and then the name of your folder. And then we're going to navigate to that folder. So we're going to do two and signs and cd projects, meaning change directory to your projects. So now we're inside that folder and we're going to make another folder, which is going to be our first project. And I'm going to call it the test project. So same thing, make directory, test and cd into directory. Now we're going to use our VS Code tool. So code dot. That is now going to open this directory, this folder, inside VS Code. So what we've done, I've given you the root of where your folder is, and we've made it organized, and we can always come back to it later. But we won't be needing to do much else from a terminal here just for now. Okay, so now that VS Code is open, you can confirm that it is in the directory that you've just created by looking here in the top left corner. The name of your directory should be there. This is your file manager section. So before we move on to anything else, you're going to need your Copilot. So come to extensions and then just search for Copilot. As you can see, I've already half searched for it. And then this is what it looks like. And then you just come here and you click install. Once it's installed, you're going to have a button up top here, toggle chat. And you're just going to toggle your chat, make sure it's on. And there you are now pretty much speaking to your project. You can look at it like that. And what this tool does, it turns your words into code in a way with the creativity of the LLM. So to use this efficiently, I recommend using Ask. Ask mode is you make your request, it shows you what it wants to do, and then you can choose whether to implement it or not. Whereas Agent and Edit seems to do everything automatically, create the files, edit the files, and things can get very messy very quickly. AI is great, but it does have its limitations. I'm going to go on to limitations and everything in future videos, but for now you just need to understand that it has a contextual awareness. It can only process up to a certain amount of tokens, which is a certain amount of words, and we need to obviously keep that in mind as we are creating very elaborate and complex projects. But don't worry, that is no problem. What I've learned to do is keep your files within reason, a reasonable size for the LLM to be able to still understand the full context of the file. So it's just a different style of coding that I've come up with that works really well. So I leave it in Ask mode so I can keep the control. And then when you are using a free version of this, you will have access to these four. And these four are amazing. I alternate between them. Sometimes one gets stuck, so then I just switch to another. And then you've got these ones. If you are paying $10 a month, you have limited access to these ones. Claude is amazing. Good heavy lifter. It has access to using a lot more tokens, so it can generate bigger files, multiple files, lots of multiple files, and just have better contextual awareness. Okay, so first things first, we're going to make just a quick something, just so you guys can see how easy it is. So I'm going to use Claude, because Claude is very good, as I say, at heavy lifting, so it's nice to start off projects with Claude. So I'm making a website to advertise my business. It's training people on how to code with AI. My business name is AI. Okay. So now it's literally that simple. You're going to put simple requests in, but your job now is to understand and to piece together and to plug. So you don't have to understand the code itself. All you got to do is get your LLM to respond to you and get it to explain what it's doing. And then you're A for away. So what I do is I use multiple AIs, not just this one on VS Code. I'll have my browser open with ChatGPT, and then I'll also have Gemini, and then I'll ask those ones more simple questions, because I don't want to waste my tokens or waste my time with the VS Code one. The VS Code is only designed to code, and then for everything else, I just quickly get answers from something else. So just a quick understanding, this type of document is HTML, and this is your skeleton of a website. This is like, oh, here we go. We want to call this one index.html. I'm just going to keep it as is for now. And press F2 to rename it. There we go. And then index We're not going to do any file organization right now. We're just going to show you how easy it is to make. So next, we're going to move to our CSS, and this is what CSS looks like. And you typically, well, the going thing is calling it styles.css, and I'm pretty sure my index is going to call it for styles.css. So, and to figure that out, we come to our index, and then we see what it's linking. So the AI has decided to call it style.css, as you can see here, and is linking it. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to name the new file styles.css. And we're going to take this, copy it, and put it here. And then we're going to do our last one. It's probably a JavaScript here. Oh, in fact, we don't have a JavaScript one. So this is all we have. And this is a ready website. This isn't uploaded to the internet or anything like that, but this is everything visual. There's no backend. That's something I will show you in a later video. So just for ease of access, what I like to do, so this, again, this is a file in a folder on a computer. In fact, there's two files in one folder. So I'm just going to locate it easily using my file explorer, because I prefer visual cues with these things. And I know I created it on my Ubuntu. So, and then I'm just going to look for the folder itself that I've created, the top one. There we go. And there we have it. This is what our Claude AI came up with in just about 2 seconds. And we have something to work with already. And then obviously now what we want to do is we want to edit it all. And to edit it all, very simple. You come back to your VS Code, and now I wanted to edit everything. I'm not 100% liking it all. It's a bit too light and fluffy for me. I want something a bit more to the point, just for example's sake. So I'm going to show both of the files that we are working on to my AI, just so I know it's aware of what we're doing. And what I'm going to do now is just say what I want done. But I'm just going to switch over to a different AI now, just to save tokens and just be more efficient. ChatGPT 5 Mini is better than 4.1 and 4.0, I've found. It's just a cleaner coder, a smarter coder, and Grok as well. It's very good. I like them both. They're very good at problem solving for me. So I'm just going to say, please make it a darker theme and minimal style. And then it's going to have a look at everything, and it's going to decide what to change. And then here's what it recommends. So now as you can see, we're mixing the AI, so now we can see how well it can mix results together. And I'm also going to show you exactly how you can edit and things to watch out for when editing. So this is the button you press, apply, and then what it does, it will then automatically see where it should put in those changes to that file. And then once that's done, we can go look at our thing again. But I think we pretty much did a style change, because when we want to change a theme and simplicity, it's typically your styles that we're changing. So now that we're back in our browser, we can see the changes that the AI has made. So to look at the changes that it's made, you just want to hard refresh your page, and to do that you press Ctrl-Shift-R. Boom, and there you have it. Just like that, the whole theme and everything's changed in 1 second. You can obviously get it to alter anything and everything. So any button can have an effect, or you can get it to change positions of some things, or yeah, all of that. Sometimes you're just going to need to be a bit more persistent and figure out what you want to focus on a bit more, but the LLMs are very great at doing that. So this is obviously the easy part of doing all of this. The more complex part, I'll explain now. The more complex part comes to when you start expanding your project and knowing where to connect things. So I will definitely be going on into much greater detail about this in future videos, but just for basic understandings, just for websites for the time being, it's all comes down to using your index.html as like your socket wall, and you can see what you're calling by your links. So the top will always be your style links, and then at the bottom you will have your script links, and then the links is the name of the file and then what folder it's in. So anything inside here is your root folder, and then you wouldn't have to add anything to that name, but your LLM could teach you this as well. So yes, this is just the basics of it. And then obviously we want to move on to, now we've got a website, we want to make it visible on the internet. There are many ways of doing that. There's free ways, there's free servers you can upload your web page to, and then you obviously might want a back end and some JavaScript, so if people maybe do sign up or get in contact, there's all of that. But I'm going to go into all of that in future videos. This is just so you can see the tools, feel the tools, and start playing around with it and creating your own things on your local machine. And then when you're ready, we can move on. So yeah, that's definitely more than enough for now. So thank you very much, and I'll see you guys next time.